Hi again, artists. Today we're continuing. We're getting so close to finishing our amazing paper weaving trees. Today you're going to be given a piece of construction paper. I'm going to be using a piece of pink construction paper just so you can see my pencil lines better than it would be with dark paper. So even though you have a different color than me, please turn your paper vertical, not horizontal like this, but we're going to make it nice and tall, vertical. And this time we're going to fold our paper in half, hot dog style. So when we fold it in half, it looks like a skinny, long hot dog bun. If you were to fold it hamburger style like this, that would not be correct, and your paper weaving will not look right at the end. Okay, so please make sure you fold it hot dog style. If you need to turn it this way, it doesn't matter, whatever's more comfortable for you, but make sure that it is hot dog style. And when you fold it, make sure that your ends meet up. You don't want one big chunk of paper way down here where there's a big gap like this. You want to make sure they're even. So when the corners are pretty much meeting up as best as you can, and when the paper is even at the top, press it, massage so that it stays flat. Then turn it vertical again. Okay? When it's vertical, we are going to do some drawing. We're going to draw one side of a tree, and just one side, and you'll see why in just a minute, why we're only drawing one side. So with your paper vertical, we want to make sure that the folded side is on the left. Okay? So we want to make sure the folded side is on the left and the open side is on the right. That's very important, okay? And we are starting our pencil from the folded side, okay? So with a pencil in your hand, we are not going to start all the way at the top. We're going to find the top, and then we're going to move down just a little bit. Move down just a little bit, and we're going to start right here. We don't want to start at the top of the paper. That's going to be some big problems when we start cutting. So make sure you go to the top but move down a little bit, okay? And then we're going to make the shape of one side of an evergreen tree. All we're going to do is make a short diagonal line and an even shorter horizontal line. That's all we're doing. Make sure that when you draw your horizontal line, you stop right here. You don't go all the way to the edge where the folded side is. Make sure that you stop. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Make sure you stop right here. You don't want to go all the way to the edge, okay? So here's the top of my paper. So now, and we leave our pencil there, we make another diagonal line, and this time I went a little farther out. Then make a horizontal line. Remember, stop here. Don't go all the way here, okay? Let me do a little bit more drawing so you can see what I'm doing. Diagonal line, and each time I make a diagonal line, I make it a little longer and it goes a little bit farther than my old one. So these are like little corners for the edge of my tree, and they're getting bigger, or they're getting further out. And then make a horizontal line stopping in the middle. Diagonal line, and if it's not perfect, it's okay because trees aren't perfect either. And then horizontal line. Diagonal line, a little bit farther out than the old one, and then horizontal line. Now, when you get close to the bottom, you're not going to go all the way to the bottom, just like we did not go all the way to the top. So when you get close to the bottom, you're going to stop and make a tree trunk, okay? If I make another branch, I'm going to get pretty close to the bottom, so I'm not going to make another branch. So if I made another branch, I would be almost at the bottom. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to stop right here when I get near the bottom, and I'm just going to make a vertical line now, and then this horizontal line will go all the way to the edge, and that's going to be the trunk or the bottom of my tree. I'm going to zoom in so you can see the bottom of my tree. So when you get close to the bottom, you are going to just make a vertical line and then a horizontal line all the way, and the horizontal line goes to the edge where the folded part is. Okay? Now I'm going to do some cutting. So now I'm using my scissors. Remember, my thumb goes in the small hole, and then 2 or 3 fingers, whatever's more comfortable, goes in the big section. And I'm keeping my paper folded the whole time. I'm never opening it up. I'm keeping it folded the whole time. And I'm going to be cutting on the pencil line only. I'm going to be pretending like my scissors are a car and this pencil line is the road. And I want to stay on the road at all times so that my tree will not be messed up. Okay? So I'm going to start at the bottom. You're going to start from the side where the paper is folded. Okay? And you're just going to cut both pieces of paper at the same time because it's folded, right? And you're going to stay on your line, stay on your tree. You're not going to go all the way to the edge. Whenever your pencil line stops, your scissors need to stop. I'm not going all the way to the edge. Then I'm going to go back and cut this diagonal line. Turn the scissors because my road is turning. And do I go past this line all the way to the edge? No, I do not. I stop right here. And I'm trying to keep this paper together. So as you're cutting, this paper is going to flap and move and probably get on your nerves, but you cannot cut it away. You cannot take your scissors and just cut it off. Please don't do that. If you do that, you will not have a tree at the end, okay? And we're only cutting one side of the tree, but we're cutting 2 pieces of paper at the same time. Remember, stay on the road. Do not cut this off like this, okay? Stay on the road. Turn your scissors. It's going to get annoying, but just be patient. If you need to take your scissors out of the paper like that and kind of just move the paper, turn it, that's okay. Make sure you're cutting both pieces at the same time. Now, when you get to the end, you stay on your pencil line, and when you get to the end, you will cut all the way to the edge at the top of your tree. Now, after you cut your tree, you're going to have 2 pieces of paper, okay? This is the shape of a tree. This is called a positive shape. It looks awesome, but what's even more awesome is this one. This is usually the one we would throw away, right? But we're not going to throw it away. You're going to carefully open it up, and you will have a big empty picture of a tree or a negative space tree. And this is going to go beautifully with our paper weaving. So keep both trees, but the one that you opened up with the empty space, you're going to have to be really careful with it. I'm going to give you back this. We had our name on the front, but let's put our name on the back where all white squares are, just near the top. Not on the white squares, near the top of your green paper so I can see it really well. And I'm going to take that black paper just like you have. So after we cut our tree, we open it up and we have a symmetrical tree. That means we only had to draw one side and cut one side, but when both sides are the same, it makes a symmetrical drawing. Doesn't that look wonderful? Now I'm going to get my paper weaving ready, and we're going to glue our black paper, our empty tree, to the top. That way we can see this beautiful green tree, and then we have a black background. That's why we put our name on the back, on the whites, where the white squares are, so that when we glue on the front, we're going to probably cover up our name. Okay? Now, I'm going to glue this side. The side where the pencil marks are. So if you can't see what I'm talking about, that's fine, but I see a side where I see some pencil marks where I didn't quite stay on the lines. I'm going to glue on this part so I won't see that later. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay, just ignore it. But make sure you're gluing on the newspaper so you don't get glue on my table. And you're just going to get a little bit of glue on your trusty glue brush, and you're just going to glue near the branches, okay? So you're just going to put a little bit of glue near the zigzag lines or the branches. You might have to go kind of quick because this glue might dry pretty fast. So I'm just putting glue around the branches. I'm not putting glue on the corners. I don't need that because my weaving paper is not big enough for that. So I'm staying by the branches, staying by the trunk of the tree too when I get to the bottom. And that's it. Then I'm going to quickly slide my paper weaving down vertical so it's nice and tall. If it's like this, that's not correct and it's not going to fit. Look how funny that's going to look. So make sure it's vertical where you see the green squares on top, and then lay your tree on top. If you have to move it around so you can have everything straight, that's fine. And when you're ready, press it down so that it's straight. You don't want a big, you don't want your paper folded like that. Make sure it's flat on all sides. Don't rip your paper though, be gentle. Then turn it over to the back and give it a good massage. Massage the bottom, the sides, the middle, because your tree is like in the middle, right? Where the branches are. Massage the top and this side, and then do it all over again, okay? If you see part of your paper coming up like mine, you might want to take your glue brush, stick it under where it's coming up. You can add more glue in places like that, okay? And give it a good massage when you're done. Flip it to the front, see how it looks. If you see any branches that are really sticking up, don't be afraid to take a little bit of glue. Tuck your glue brush under there, press it down, and give it a good massage. They look wonderful. Good job, boys and girls. Boys and girls, your paper weaving trees look amazing. Today we're going to add a finishing touch, some snow. So with a white oil pastel, you are going to make some snow and some snowflakes if you want. If you look at this one, you can make snow or snowflakes on your squares. I like to just keep the snow or snowflakes on the painted squares. That seems to look best. And then on your background. So I'm going to leave this one here. You can do it. You can use mine as an example, or you can create your own. But I like to start by just drawing and coloring right on top of this painted squares. Okay, I think it looks best if we do it on the painted squares and not the regular construction paper squares, okay? So I'm just going around and I'm just making some dots. They can be open dots like that, or they can be colored in like I did the other ones, or it can be a little bit of both. You can even take a square and maybe do a bunch of little dots, whatever you want. You can also make a snowflake by making an X, drawing a vertical line down the middle, and then doing a horizontal line. I'll show you more of that in a minute. Let's see, I got another square here, and I got some little ones down here. Wherever there is room, you can even leave some of your painted squares without a snowflake if you want. Now we have the black background, so now we can add snow on the black paper. Okay, we can do little dots like we did before, open or closed or both. We can make those snowflakes again by making an X and then making a T. Okay, or you can start with a T and then an X. Okay, you can add some little polka dots on the end to make them more interesting. You can do any kind of little snow or snowflakes that you want. Just have fun. If you make a mistake, turn it into a beautiful oops. Whoops, that doesn't look very good, but I'm just going to turn it into a bigger piece of snow. I love these. You can even do a snowflake or a piece of snow inside another piece of snow. You can decorate your background any way you want. I'm going to leave these here so you can have some examples. Have fun. Add some snow on top or snowflakes on top of your painted squares, and then do the same thing all the way around your black paper. Great job, boys and girls. I absolutely love your paper weaving evergreen tree.